To complete the square, the first step is to check to make sure you're in standard form. It's in descending order with the square term first, and then factor out the leading coefficient, or the a term, out of the first two terms. So if there is a leading coefficient, in this case it's 2, we divide that 2 out of the first two terms. Divide these both by 2, or whatever the number is in front. Divide the first two terms by that number. That'll give us x squared plus 6x. And again, it's only out of the first two terms that you do this. The 10 stays the same. The 2 doesn't go away. It's still there. It's just factored out into the front of the problem. Step 2, half the second term and square it. So half of 6 would be 3, and squaring it would be 3 times 3, which is 9. Now we've changed the problem. By adding that 9 that wasn't there before, it's no longer the same problem. So step 3 is to change it back. We're going to add and subtract this term from the equation. Therefore, it won't be a different problem. It's still the same problem. By adding the 9 and taking it away, it's still the same problem it was. I'm effectively adding 0. Okay, the term that I'm subtracting, I'm going to pull it out of the parentheses. But everything in the parentheses, remember, is multiplied by that leading coefficient, that number in front. Because everything is multiplied by 2, when I pull out the subtracted number, I'm going to have to multiply it by 2. Okay, so the term that was subtracted gets pulled out, but remember it's multiplied by 2, or whatever the number is that's in front. Now we're converting the parentheses, step 5, into a perfect square. The number up front stays the same. And in the back we have, let's see, minus 18 plus 10, that'll be minus 8. Okay, the step for completing the square or making the perfect square, the number here is always half of the middle term or the square root of the last number. The last step is to identify the vertex, which comes from changing the sign for the number in the parentheses. Don't change the sign on the number that's outside. That's the h and the k. Let's see, vertex form can be written as the form a x minus h squared plus k, where the vertex is h comma k. Notice we changed the sign on that h. Okay, the rule, the 1a, 3a, 5a rule tells you how much you're going up each time to find more dots to graph your parabola. So this one, because there's a 2 in front, this becomes the 1 times 2, which is 2, 3 times 2, 6, 5 times 2, 10. That means you go over 1 up 2, over 1 up 6, over 1 up 10 to find more points when you graph. So the rule will be the 2, 6, 10 rule to graph this one with the vertex at -3, -8.